Hola, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode, our first English episode this year, and one in a long time. Welcome back to Not Again with me, Dany Acosta, and today we have an explosive episode with our sister in Jesus, Michelle Guzman. How are you today?
I'm very happy to be here with you, and then just making explosive, as you say.
Awesome. Yeah, I think, dude, we're gonna have a lot of fun today. We're gonna be talking about her involvement in the community. She does like 1,000 things and a half, and what it's like to be a single mom upon her faith, and among other things, and also maybe some even upcoming events. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back. So, Michelle, tell us a little bit about where you're from and a little bit about your academic context, any background that you have, licenses, certificates, craziness going on.
Definitely. So, for some people that might not know me, and both of my parents are from Guatemala. Yay! Woo! So, Central America representation right here.
That's right.
People say that I'm from Dominican Republic, which is woo-woo, my Caribbean friends. Or Venezuela, which is South America, but no, I am from Guatemala, so very proud of
Nice.
that heritage. I grew up there, but when I was
What part of Guatemala?
The city,
Okay.
the city. But I had the chance to travel within the country, so I know a little
Ooh.
bit of pieces, and I know a little bit of the heritage that we have that out there in Guatemala.
Yeah.
But I am a very proud alumni from North Shore Community College.
Okay.
Woo! Kudos to that. 2 associate's degrees.
Okay. Can you tell us in what?
Yeah, so business administration, and I moved and transferred to Northeastern University, and then the other one was the executive administration. So
Nice.
my secretarial background, I came and completed the associate's degree for that. So
Nice.
I have that background.
Beautiful.
And on top of that, because I was working at the Lynn Community Health Center for 7 years,
Okay.
I have the background of medical. And it's a funny story, Dany, you're going to like this. So my mom is a nurse. My grandfather is a doctor. And so when it came down to my career, everybody thought that I was going to follow Moan, and which I really want to. But then one episode, one of my little nephews had an accident, and he broke his lip, and it was blood all over his mouth.
Yeah.
And when I saw him, I fainted.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, no way, I'm not going to be a nurse, because just to look at blood will just really make me dizzy. So
Right.
I avoid anything that had to do with medical thing. But there was this opportunity at the Lynn Community Health Center to be a secretary of the department. So the purple group is where I started it. So it was funny because I was running away from it, and I end up being in there.
In the middle of it.
In the middle of there. So I have a little bit of background of when it comes to, medical stuff, and I am I'm a medical interpreter.
Okay.
A medical and community interpreter. So I do have that other, also from North Shore Community College.
Nice.
And last, which is my heart now, is about community organizing. So
Yes.
because I was an employee for the Lynn Community Health Center, they were a union. Not so strong now, but they still, so kudos to 1199 STIU. That's where I am. I'm a sister of those brothers and sisters
Nice.
from the healthcare. So that was the emphasis that I started to work on the organizing. I didn't know anything about union. And, in Spanish, sindicatos, the sindicatos are trouble, like in our country. So I had to learn what that meant in United States, and that was the time of Obama. We rally for the immigration, we rally for DACA, and so that showed me the power of coming together, and so that's what I'm doing now. I'm a community organizer.
Well, that's really awesome. I mean, it sounds something like, as you mentioned, SEIU, it sounds like a lot of things that labor forces do,
Yes.
right? A lot of people that are part of unions and so forth, they
Yes.
gather together and they have solidarity so they can move progress forward, word, right? So tell us a little bit more about Guatemala. Tell us a little bit about when you were growing up out there and how was it?
Oh my God, I think I was blessed because even though I was in the city, my mom also had the vision to keep me in bilingual schools. So not necessarily private, expensive schools, but then a school that will offer that English curriculum. So
Right.
when I came to United States, it was easy to kind of like associate what I study with the actual language. And so that gave me a little bit of easy way to navigate the English. So funny story, was my first job here in Lynn, and greetings to Roger. He ran for the city council this year. So Roger was my first supervisor ever, and we were
Wow.
talking at my brother's
Table.
No, the other
Deli?
Yes, my brother's deli. Yeah, and so. I know English and my clients are in English, and then a person comes and say, "Hey, could I have an OJ?" And I'm like, OJ.
OJ?
I don't know what that is. Tell me what it is. So I run with Roger and I say, Roger, what is OJ? What is OJ? And he goes, orange juice.
Yes.
I'm like, why people don't talk regular English, it's funny. So Roger and I go back, but then that's how, you can learn English, but then it's not until you are the boots on the ground where you really know the language.
So you started learning English in Guatemala?
In Guatemala, and my mom had that
And what
vision.
school?
Oh my God, I remember that the name was El Encanto, which was close to my house. Then it's funny because in the summer, I will, probably will have different activities like, okay, go swimming, go do something fun. But I had this incredible teacher. His name is Jaime, and he taught me that. So the English that I learned is from National Geographic. So it was sophisticated English, and he will put me to read these articles and then do the vocabulary and then have a resume, a summary. And then the last class was like, okay, tell me about it. And so it was very unconventional, and that's how I fall in love.
Very untraditional, but I think very effective, right?
Very effective.
I mean, clearly
yes.
your English is very good. I thought you were going to say like the National Geographic shows where they're like, and now we see the lion approaching the whatever,
Definitely. No,
okay.
no. So then I'm the youngest of three sisters and one brother. So
Wow.
I am the baby of the family. And so I think that gave me joy, and I will hang out with my older sister. We'll go, to retreats, and we'll go to the mountains. And I actually climb a small volcano in Guatemala. So my life was really active, I could say, my youth.
Now, we know that you're a person of faith. A lot of people that know you, they know you as a community organizer, but they also know you as a woman of faith. Tell us a little bit about your roots in the faith. Did it start in Guatemala? And if so, how did it go?
So it's funny because
like the encapsulated version of your testimony.
Yes, definitely. So I had a cousin that so I was Catholic, not a problem. I went to a Casa Central is the name of the school. So it's oriented to nuns. And I remember that we will go to the services at the Catholic Church, and there was something else though. I will pray, I will look at the images, and I'm like, I want more. I know that there is this beautiful God out there, but I want more.
Right.
So then one thing led to the other, and my cousin, she was going to Verbo. That's a very strong ministry in Guatemala, and so she invited me to the youth group, and it took me probably 3 or 4 because the first time that I went, I saw all these teenagers jumping around and having a blast, and I'm like,
How old were you at the time?
oh my God, I was like probably 16, 17 years old.
Wow. Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, these dudes are crazy. How is it that they're jumping up and down? And
like, these ain't nuns.
like,
this is something else.
This is not me, man. But when it came to the time of preaching, the pastor obviously was a young couple, and the subjects that he will talk got right into what I was looking for, what I was going through, my growth, my questions. What do I want in life? Why did I came to this earth? What's my purpose? All these fundamental questions, right?
Yeah.
So from there, it turned out to be that I turned into in one of the Sunday services. Now, if you don't know the history in Guatemala, and there was this military captain that he, during the years of war in Guatemala, he killed a lot of people, okay? And his name, for people that know from Guatemala, his name is Justo Rufino Barrios. So it was a general. He was a general. And I don't know, but with the years after the war and everything, he became Christian. And can you believe I have resentment against this guy? Like, really, because I knew what he did. No, not right.
Or at the time?
No, at the time.
Okay.
At the time. And so, because I knew what he did. And I go to church, and then is this guy, Justo Rufino Barrios, giving the sermon. And I'm like, right, by shield, like, what is this guy doing here? To make the long story short, when he says, if you feel heavy, that you have all this weight on you, you need to come to Jesus. Listen, Dany, I didn't care who he was, but the calling for me. And if you think about it, a young girl at 17, what troubles do you have that you're really going to make you feel like you're so heavy?
Right.
But that's how I felt. Like I needed somewhere to find my path. And so I remember, because it was iconic that this guy who killed so many people was calling for Jesus. And so that's when I accepted to Jesus. So from there, it was obviously a transformation. My older sister became Christian, not through me, through another friend, and then my mom. And then the three of us went to La Fraternidad Cristiana de Guatemala, which is the biggest one, and that's where Cash Luna was actually, not a lot of people know about this, but Cash Luna, the very famous Cash Luna, he was the youth preacher for us. So the youth pastor. So I have the background, and we had Marcos. We had the Explosión Juvenil, which is the juvenile explosion, which musicians come. So we had Marcos Witt and Alberto Motesi.
I've seen Alberto Motesi live.
Oh my God!
That guy's something else.
Oh yeah, he is something, especially with Argentinian accent. So
yep.
So I grew up with these leaders that are leaders right now.
You grew up with legends, dude.
Oh my God, tell me about it.
And so, at what age did you come to the States?
I was 20, not giving up my age, okay?
Yeah, no, it's fine. So you were 20 at the time?
I was 20 years old.
And what brought you here?
My studies. My mom always has had this vision, very, very visionary woman, also single mom. And she decided that it was time for me to go to college. And, in Guatemala, you have to have some money. You can go to the regular Universidad de Guatemala, which is the public university. Nothing wrong with that. But if you know that you can give better things to your children, why not? Yeah. And so the blessing was that we had family here in Boston. So that's when she's like, okay, from all the states, I said to my mom, from all the states in the United States, why did you decide to come to Boston? And so the one reason is that we already had family. My older sister, Patricia, she was married to obviously her husband, and they were here. Their family, his family was here already in Boston. So that's why we decided to come to Boston.
Now, I know that you have a son, right? Manny.
That's right.
That I think most people know him by Manny. Did you meet his father out in Guatemala, or was it out here?
No, it was out. It was here, and he's from Honduras. So we kind of I kept the heritage local in Central America. Yeah.
Nice. And now, but I know you're also a single mom, and you're a very, very strong role model as as a single mother. I think a lot of women do admire your effort and a lot of your discipline, being able to juggle so many things in the community, which we'll get into in a little bit. I think it's very admirable of all the things that you do, plus putting on top of that you are a single mom and have been. It reminds me of my incredible girlfriend who has also been a single mom for years.
Yep.
I think it's a very powerful thing to have, and it shows a lot of resilience, right? We were just talking a little bit about resilience before the show. It shows a lot of resilience on your part of like, hey, there is no excuse. No matter how busy you might be, you always make time to make sure that you spend some with your son, which is really, really, really incredible. But before we get into it, I want to be able to talk more about the community, but we'll be right back, guys. And we're going to be talking about Michelle's involvement in the community. We'll ask her some really awesome questions, and maybe we'll find out what is her favorite restaurant in Lynn. We'll be right back. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. So, Michelle, what is your favorite restaurant in Lynn?
Oh my God, you're gonna put me on the spot. Well, I guess that Union Street has the diversity, and I will not specifically, because it is what I wanted to eat. So if I want not necessarily Chinese, but one of those hot soup in a very cold day, I go to Po Ming, which is on Union Street. I want to try something different from Venezuela, I go to Los Chamos. Or I want something very natural from Guatemala, I go to Antojitos Chapines. Or maybe I want something Mexican, which is, by the way, Tikal, which is also here on Union Street. They put this beautiful, they invested a lot of money on these beautiful chairs that represent the heritage of Guatemala. So if you have a chance, and not necessarily Guatemala, but Mexico in general, Central America and El Salvador, they have a diversity of Hispanic food. Go there. But Union Street, so is the
You said
universal.
it's called Tikal?
Yes.
Tikal. Okay.
The Universal, so that's my street. So I don't have a specific restaurant because it depends on what I want to eat.
The pho, the soup that you were talking about, that Asian kind of soup, it's so good. It's so delicious. I actually went there with one of our guests, Heidi Arriaga. And if you guys want to watch that episode, it's actually in our YouTube channel. Just look up Heidi Arriaga. Not Again with Dany Acosta. She was one of our guests. Amazing entrepreneur. She actually made my girlfriend recently a beautiful shawl. Shout out to Heidi. It was like a cream color. It had like a little letter Q. This video is not sponsored, y'all, but we got to give a shout out to one of our homegirls out there.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit more about being a single mom. Tell us about that. What are some of the challenges that you have faced since becoming a single mom, on top of being such an incredible community organizer?
Yeah, definitely that's a challenge. I think it's not a secret sauce or recipe that you really can handle all the things that you have, especially being a single mom, going to church, trying to have your example lead by example. On top of that, you have your work. So definitely there is challenges that sometimes you're like, you don't even know because everything looks so priority, like everything is important.
Right.
But I think that two things drive me. One is that that beauty begins with you.
Okay.
If you are not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be able to give to the other people, like your children or your mom or your peers, even at work. So I really think that I need to be centered on that. And one of the things, at least for for this year, my mantra is balance. And so I ask the Lord that to give me that balance, to give me that centrum where He is my strength, because I cannot do it. So I imagine that I'm reaching out to the Holy Spirit for His wisdom, for His guidance. I reach out for the love of Jesus because He was dead. He died for me, but He resuscitates. So that's
He resurrected, right?
He resurrected. That's the key. So I'm not praising a dead God. It is alive. And so
it sounds like a lot of your strong foundation, a lot of your strength has been inclined into the Lord.
The center is the love of the Lord, which is my Father. So those three things are key to my success. And then the other thing, which I think is going to happen a lot to single moms, is that I feel very successful at work. Like, oh my God, I can work for hours and hours, and maybe, I actually have an alarm for lunch because sometimes I'm I'm so engaged that I am not thinking about my food.
Yeah.
So I have an alarm for lunch, but one day I was coming out of my my work at 6 o'clock, and I was feeling so successful that I did all this, okay? Like I did this and my work, and I was very successful. But deep inside of me, I knew that my son was waiting for me at home. And then it questioned me, like when my life goes on, what is it that the Lord is going to ask me? Oh, you were successful as a woman, or you were successful as a mom? And I think that was like a opening.
Well, there's a verse in the Bible that says, what good is it to gain the whole world if you have your life to lose, right?
Exactly.
And I think sometimes we invest, I mean, we're both workaholics in that way. We have so much time, but we invest so much in our success, and it can be very easy to slip away the true value of our time with family. You know, there's that old saying, right? Time is money. And I very value that saying, because as you know, I'm a very, I very like pet peeve with like punctuality. I'm
Yes.
why are people on time? Like, oh my gosh, it like drives me insane. But I do understand at times, and it's just like, and so, but for me, it's like, but my family needs time too.
Yes.
And one of the things that the Lord challenged me a few years ago was like, you invest so much time into my people. How much time are you investing into my family? In other words, the family that God has placed me in my home, between these four walls. And so I think to what you're saying, and to really highlight a lot of what you're saying, as much as it is important for me to incline into the Lord for strength, I think it's also good for us, right, as older people in our family, especially you as a mom, to exemplify that and show your son, like, hey, look at my strength. This is the right way. But let's talk a little bit about your community involvement. What are you a part of right now?
So right now I am working on a program called Baby Steps, and that is sponsored by the Highlands Coalition. Kudos to Highland Coalition. It's a nonprofit organization that in the summer is actually work to these community gardens, which not a lot of people know. There are places around Lynn where you actually can how you say sembrar, like plant
or sow seeds.
Vegetables, plant vegetables. And so what it is that after your hard work of planting something, you can actually eat the fruit of your labor.
Nice. Okay.
So that's what the Highlands Coalition do, among other things. But then this opportunity of Baby Steps is for moms out there, please, that are that have a child less than a year. The Treasury Department of Massachusetts is giving $50 to promote savings for a college plan. And so they will give you those $50 by opening that account. And then the other thing is that if you have food stamps, they will deposit $10 for a year. So at the end of the year, you have $170 if you apply for food stamps and you're eligible. But it's about the encouragement to savings. And sometimes we don't think about this. You know, in our culture, savings, I mean, I cannot even have enough money to pay my bills. I cannot even think about saving some money. But if you think about it, if you deposit $5 a month, in a year you have $60 that you didn't have before. So that's what I'm doing, my community organizing work. And then obviously whatever I see opportunities to engage and connect. I was in Center Board and the Family Resource Center because we did a collection in my church, a collection of winter clothes, and then we went on and donate them. And they're going to have an event this Saturday, actually, over there, and where family can come, had hot chocolate, and have time gathering, and then they will be able to select some winter clothes, and it can be from gloves to scarves to hats to jackets. So,
and that's right across the street from City Hall, right? This Saturday.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday.
So if people are interested, make sure you guys check them out. They're also on Facebook. I actually used to work there at the Lynn Family Resource Center.
That's right.
Really, really awesome people. Shout out to all the people there. Olivia, Jadi, Emily's also still there. So shout out to you guys. I also met you around the time that we had met. You were also part of, I believe it was New Lynn Coalition.
Yes.
And also New Lynn United, I think it was.
Lynn United is part of the New Lynn Coalition. So New Lynn Coalition, it's formed of 15 different organizations. So that's the beauty of being there, because you have different organizations doing different things around town. So I'm not with New Lynn Coalition anymore, but then I'm working with one of the organizations that is part of that coalition, which is the Highlands Coalition.
Nice. And so what else are you doing in the community nowadays? I know that you're a part of your church. Do you have any specific ministry in your church? What has that been like? And what church do you go to? Because I think a lot of people want to know, like, where is she at so we could go worship together?
Definitely. So I go with Candia, your girlfriend.
My significant other.
Your significant other, that's right. So Candia, we go to Heavenly Purpose. That's on Western Avenue. The interesting thing is that Candia invited me over, and then I went just because I wanted to find a new place where to go. And it turned out that the pastor's wife is my friend from 1995. 1995. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I have seen her here and there, but not really stopping by and say, hey, let's grab a cup of coffee. And when I see she's the one, I'm like, oh my God, this is God calling me to be here and feel that sisterhood that you need sometimes being as a single mom. So I am there. I am a new member, so I'm adjusting to feel where is that the Lord and them need me. But I really think that I've been able to implement the concept, Dany, that sometimes we don't necessarily need to be at church to show the love that Christ has for others. Jesus Christ came to help others and the people that not necessarily need to be lost. But even for example, this donation, I asked them, could you please go back and check in your closets any clothes that you can donate to others. So that was a sign for me to put faith into action for the love of others. So that's my ministry, I would say, bringing these resources to the community, bringing this connection with other people. So somebody's looking for food, okay, you can go and apply for these other local organizations that you can have.
And if people are interested in being able to be a part of that ministry or probably even be able to support, what is the best way that they can be a part of that?
Well, depends on what you want. I think that the first thing is like, what do you want to do? Like, you want to physically active help, you can go to my brother's table. They're always looking for people to feed the need, and they have the open hours, and they don't ask you questions. You go and say, can I have some food? And they will give you prepare hot, delicious food. So
Nice.
then they are always looking for Fridays especially, and then the weekends. And then the other thing is that if you want to, make donations. Donation can be on your time, or it can be with physical things. So a family center, the Family Resource Center is, I think, the best place that you can go and find. But in the ministry, you can do it at your church. Look
Right.
around and see what is it that they need. They need even the pastors, something like with the children or with the youth or anything. I think it's up to where you want to be useful.
Recently, Michelle, one of the things that I do want to talk about, because you are part of the community, you do have a son who is 16 years old, and I think you've been involved and very well connected in the community with so many agencies. What is your perspective right now with all the youth violence going on?
I know it has been saddening, and it has been part of my heart to find out a way. So what I can say is that the city of Lynn has right now what they call a task force, which is included with Nicole McLean. Kudos to Nicole McLean, who is our city at large counselor, the first female African American that is having that title. So she is coming together with students from different schools, public and private, and charter schools too, to talk about that, how they can work on that. Yesterday, for example, there was a mentorship program in the city hall where the youth could go, or parents, they were mostly parents, finding out all these resources where we can keep our youth busy. And I think that that's the most important thing. So if I may use this time, Dany, I want to bring the consciousness to parents. When you send your kid to school, that doesn't mean that the responsibility of teaching them the good manners and the examples in life falls into the schools. No, that's the wrong. The responsibility is on the parents. So I understand we work 1 work, 2 works, 3 works, whatever, but then that's where God is going to ask you, what did you do with the gift I gave you?
So you're
right?
saying, like, even though parents might work 2 or 3 jobs, it's not the school's responsibility to show your kids values. It's the parents'
100%.
responsibility.
Exactly. So then the other thing is, like, for example, my example, I would say that I'm looking for things for my son to do after school, because I might not be able to be home around 6 or 7 o'clock at night. And then so what he's gonna do in that time? With so many things going on in media, I mean, porn, craziness, and then the news, and a lot of things happen. So the best thing is to keep the young busy. That's one thing. The other thing is that what the city did, the mentorship, letting you know that there are these excellent programs that are out there for the kids being busy. And then the third is Lean Teen Centers. I mean, the high school, Lean Tech, has a teen center dropout, which you can go and drop off your kids.
Oh, the drop-in center.
The drop-in centers, yes.
Yep.
Which I think in a certain way is better to drop them in a control environment. And when I mean control, it's not like they're going to be on top of them. No,
Right.
It's control for the good influences that the teen centers have. So I would prefer to drop off my kid over there, and then I know that the certain age when they are teenagers, you have to respect their will. Mm-hmm. But as a teacher showed me, is that yes, they have free will to decide, but you control the environment.
If anybody wants to get a hold of you, Michelle, because I know there's so much we could cover,
Yes,
right? But I'm
yeah.
just, what would be the best way to contact you if people are interested in communicating and maybe
Yeah.
sharing their heart, or maybe being able to be a part of what you're a part of?
Sure. So my phone number is 781-417-9002. And again, it doesn't have to be necessarily for parents, but then resources, classes. We can go on and on and on. As Dany said, I have a lot of hats.
Is there any email that people can contact you at, or social media?
Yeah, they can find me on Facebook. Michelle Guzman, my regular name. And if they want to send me an email, it's also Guzman all together, and then community organizer. And I know it's long, but then just to be specific, Mguzmancommunityorganizer@gmail.com.
Awesome. And we'll have all that information down in the description below. We'll be right back, because we always have a time at the end to be able to honor a person. And so, Michelle, we're going to give you that privilege. We'll be right back. Awesome. Well, guys, welcome back. And today, I want to be able to give the time, the honor, to be able to allow Michelle to honor somebody. This is a time where we allow our guests to honor a person in their heart, in their lives. Is there, directing yourself to the camera, who is the person that you would want to honor, and what are your words for them? Make sure that you direct yourself to the camera, and the time is yours.
Oh, thank you. So I would like to take this time to honor my sisters, not necessarily in Christ, but in what I do. And that is Annette Sykes, who is the director of the gala, which is Gallerias at Link Arts. And another rock, it's Tia Cole. She is from Creative Collectives. And I have found that in the passions God has given me some incredible creative women. And so my kudos to my friends, Annette and Tia. Thank you for all that you do, but the inspiration that you do, and then that we're doing great things together. And I think that that's a good thing for friendship.
That's beautiful, Michelle. And one person that I would like to maybe share your heart out with is, and again, directing yourself to the camera, what would be your words for your son today?
Oh my goodness. I always say to him that it doesn't matter if mom is crazy busy, that he doesn't have to question, not for a second, that the best and the most important person in my life is him. And that whatever I do is to show him that is a good example. I lead that. And love is the greatest feeling of all, and love transcends, and that's my love for you is greater than me, and I want to love you for who you are and for the things that you're going to do. And I'm incredible looking forward to see what you're going to do for your life, and mom is going to be there to help you and support you mostly.
Woo, amen. That's awesome,
Thank
dude.
you.
And I think, you know what? I believe your son loves you so much. I think he has such a big space in his heart for you. And I know that everybody, right, in this world that has been able to take up the responsibility of being a mom, they go through so much. So I do admire you. Michelle, thank you so much for being with us today. Guys, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you leave a like down below. And also let us know, what are your comments? Let us hear your comments out at the bottom. I want to be able to hear what you guys guys have to say about Michelle's thoughts today, some of the involvement that she's in. And if you have any questions for her, make sure you reach out to her, or you can let us know in the comments down below. Guys, make sure that you go and smile, go and hug somebody, go make the difference in your community. God bless you guys, and remember to walk by faith and not by sight. We'll see you guys next time. Love you guys, and see you guys soon.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.